Close tabs on them, not good enough for me. I'd throw them back where they came from, quite frankly, but that's just me. How about Judge Andrew Napolitano, the constitutionalist?
I'm not sure what you mean by throw them back where they came from. They're Americans.
But if they go over there to fight for them, they go back over there and stay there.
Here's the law. If they go over there to fight for them, they have violated a federal statute which exposes them to 20 years in jail, called providing material assistance to an enemy organization.
I'm sorry. I don't feel like providing them with food, shelter, heat, light, and medical assistance for 20 years.
What do you want to do?
Keep them where they are. Take their passports off them. Can I do that legitimately?
Well, the government is not interested in doing that because the government believes that they will do more harm there. So the government is interested in arresting them. It can't arrest them there, so it arrests them here.
Oh, that's false logic, Judge. That is totally false logic.
Well, then you should comment to Jay Johnson. That's the public policy of the Bush administration and the Obama administration, which is to arrest these people often before they leave, often before they actually provide the material assistance to the terrorist organization. No, I don't approve of that, but the courts and I disagree because the courts have said that going to a terrorist camp and sitting there and listening, not training, not giving money, not providing assistance, but listening, can constitute providing assistance to the organization.
You are such a lawyer.
Do you believe that listening is providing material assistance? The courts have said yes.
I'm not passing words. We're up against vicious terrorists who want to eradicate us and our culture. And one day may bring a bomb over here to do it successfully.
That's why...
Knock them off.
You know, you are not credible when you feign this anger at me. But... Yes, that's why we have these statutes, which actually are a little bit more advanced and on your side than you're willing to concede. First of all, Congress doesn't have to declare which organizations are terrorist organizations. The Secretary of State or the Secretary of Treasury may do so. And once they declare it to be a terrorist organization, if the government has evidence that you plan to join it, it will arrest you. If somehow you've escaped the government, you've gone there, you've studied with them, you've followed them, and you've come back, you can be arrested. Why Jay Johnson hasn't arrested them? I don't know. He didn't give those answers to Leslie Stahl. Could he get a search warrant to listen to their conversations and capture what they're doing on their email after they've joined ISIS? Of course he could. Is he doing that? He probably doesn't want to say.
What do you think to what the Brits are doing? Prime Minister,
well, the Brits don't have a constitution, so what do they care?
So they've got some freedom of maneuver. Cameron came on the air today and said Britain is predominantly and is a Christian country. The Home Secretary in Great Britain, that's the Interior Minister, if you like, she says we're going to shut down hate speech, we're going to shut down these communities and send them home if they're going to do that, if they don't share our values.
Sounds like Joe Stalin to me.
Okay, so they don't have a constitution, but they are facing an imminent and dire threat, and they have every right to protect their society.
Well, in America, the government is prohibited from characterizing the land as a blank nation, yes, Christian, Jewish, Protestant, Catholic, whatever you want to call it. Yep. And in America, hate speech is absolutely protected under the First Amendment. And you are happy to be an American and in America, where if by chance you utter hate speech,
do you think our government
won't come after you?
Do you think that our government would be acting unconstitutionally if our leaders supported the Judeo-Christian ethic on which this society is built?
I think the Judeo-Christian ethic underlies much of the law that we have written, and that Judeo-Christian ethic presumes a modicum of freedom, which includes freedom to utter hate speech. That's not me. That's the Supreme Court of the United States.
In your heart, just put aside your extreme libertarianism for one second.
None of this is libertarian. This is all straightforward, mainstream U.S. Supreme Court rulings. But in my cold heart, what do you want to ask me?
Yes. I want to know.
It's warm today because it's the day after Easter.
Isn't there a smidgen of feeling on your part that, you know, we got a problem here, we got to deal with this, and we don't want these people here?
Yes, and I said that when I said a few minutes ago that a person who joins ISIS and comes back here has given the government probable cause to surveil them. And if the government knows what they did there, and they did provide material assistance to ISIS, they can be arrested.
You wouldn't go further and say, you go over there just once and you never come back.
Actually, I think they should be able to go over there and not come back. If they are crazy enough to want to leave this country and go to a totalitarian, horrific establishment like that and stay there, they have the right to do it.
Okay,
now,
don't we have the right to tell them you can't come back?
Did we sort of end up where we started?
We didn't. You turned it around on me. Don't we have the right?
What else is new?
Don't we, well, thank you. Don't we have the right to say, you've gone over there, you've made your choice, live with it, stay there?
No, because the Fifth Amendment requires we prove the case against them if they want to come back.
You know, there are times when a constitution...
What, is an impediment to your purposes?
Could be reinterpreted. Quickly, Rand Paul, going to announce for the presidency tomorrow. He can't win if he says, abolish the IRS, abolish the Fed. Too extreme.
I think if he says abolish the Fed, that won't resonate with voters. But if he says abolish the IRS, he'll actually be joining a lot of Republicans who want to not get rid of federal taxes, but make them fairer, easier, and get rid of the huge politicized apparatus that collects them. And I suspect you agree with that.
I do.
Thank you.
But I don't think you can win by saying abolish the IRS.
As long as you propose something rational and fair as a substitute for it. And I don't remember which one of these proposals he has. I don't know if it's the flat tax or the fair tax, but it's one of those taxes where your tax return would be the size of an index card, as opposed to a New York City telephone book like yours is.
Judge, thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome. Happy Easter to you.
Yes, I think one can say Happy Easter. In most parts of the world, it's Easter Monday. It certainly is.
Well, in Europe, it's a holiday, right?
It is indeed. That's right.
Yes.
Thanks, Judge.